part of the year. Okay, we're being recorded. Yeah, it's the time of year that we're the brightest, and so a time of regeneration, of sensuous living, of, uh, of
Oh,
of partying, of fertility. Yeah, it's the growth part of the year.
Yes, and it looks like that from my window too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
happening
it's
here
really
too.
just so astonishing at this time of year, the rapidity, how rapid transformation is.
Hmm.
Like literally one day your trees are just bare sticks, and then the next day they're green.
no, I know.
It's really pretty breathtaking. Even like we had a bunch of rains and we had some straw spread over the lawn, and overnight it sprouted like just like tons of mushrooms. The fact that they go from absolutely nothing to these giant
Wow, that is amazing.
full-fledged things, it's so like miraculous.
Yes, it is. It
Well, you
is.
could have
That the
actually sat there and watched it happen, overnight and hung out and watched it happen.
That's for night owls.
Yeah.
People nights all their lives.
And what do you see out your window?
Me,
Yeah, what can you see growing?
rhododendrons. I see blooms on my blueberries. I can see there's a tree out here with pluots on it.
Mm.
What is
Pluots
that?
go out and take some off for the other pluots to actually ripen well.
Is
right.
that a is that a fruit?
Pluot, yes, it's kind of a mixture between a plum and an apricot.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yum.
They are good.
Oh, I bet.
Don't they have those back east? They don't have
No,
pluots?
I've
no.
never heard of it before.
No, no.
I
Well,
try.
I think I learned about them after I was here. I never heard about them there.
And you actually have a tree.
We have two trees. We have a plum tree and a pluot tree and blueberries and a garden. So
How do you keep the blueberries from getting eaten by birds?
we don't. We have raspberries too. Yeah, we
You
don't
just
try to get them first.
You get it. That's it. That's it. You have to get them first. Yeah.
Yeah,
right, right. So you don't do anything, yeah. I know
no.
my sister in Lancaster County, has a whole they have a whole defense mechanism to preserve their blueberry crop from birds.
Well,
They're basically in a cage.
over the
Uh-huh.
tree, over the bush.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So there is a second part to Beltane, Jala. Keep going.
Yes, it's a time of regeneration and new beginnings. So Kate and I came up with this subject, and we wanted to hear what all of your experiences are too of coming to a point as we age. Very often, usually we enter some kind of a crisis, maybe sometimes many crises, and then coming out of the numbness and the fear and the despair to some kind of a new life, usually a more spiritual life, whereas the first life might have been more physical and more youth oriented. Now we're headed toward death, so it becomes a spiritual journey. So wanting to hear other people's experiences too. Have you experienced something that was really a crisis and then had to regroup?
And there might be several different points of crisis, throughout your life. So
Mhm.
I guess we could choose one in particular that has never left us, something that every now and then sparks a thought or might come up in a meditation or a dream.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you say, Kate? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think my main shock was in the 60s, we were free-flowing people, and then into the 70s, and then suddenly I had to enter the so-called real world and get a job, which I had not been a nurse at that time. And every job I had before and even after I became a nurse has been sort of it's just a glimpse into the thinking of the world, which I never attributed to really. I might agree with people when they talk about the thinking of the world, but now I don't have to deal with that. I have a situation where I am a free agent and I can still have a career. It's the most wonderful, it's like a gift after having been in the thinking of the world, with doctors and nurses not really being supportive of each other and everybody afraid of and the politics of healthcare and so forth.
Yeah.
So it took a long time to step out of that. I mean, really, but I am feeling much freer than I ever have in terms of balance. And I mean, I'm still doing my online work, of course. So I am a very busy person at this point in my life. It's all good. It's all good.
Hmm. And how would you say you got there? I guess you had to keep looking for jobs, just looking, looking, looking until something clicked, huh?
Well, my jobs never really clicked, I must say, just because you have to drive to them in the middle of winter and all that kind of stuff. But this job is as close to entrepreneurial activity as any I've ever had. And
Hmm.
nobody's breathing down my back unless I slip up somewhere. But they haven't, it's all good. It's all good. And to me, it is a gift after all this time to have discovered that something in this life can be a freedom kind of thing. I mean, it can be a transformation every day of my life from here on out.
Hmm.
About you, Jala?
Well, after Delaney died, after my husband died, and then the dog died, our dog died about 4 months later. That was bad enough, all those losses. But then
Mhm.
I was also very sick. My electrolytes all went screwy, and I was really pretty sick. And I fell into a real black space. I was in despair. And I really didn't care whether I lived or died, which was so different from me. I had always been, kind of a jovial, optimistic person, and I was completely different. Then this went on for a while, and then one day, I can't say exactly where it happened, but I woke up the one morning and I began to feel different. I began to really nature, I think, did it. Just loving nature and realizing that the sun rises and the beauty of the day. And slowly, 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 I began to change. And now I enjoy life. It's like 180 degrees difference. And it really was a major transformation. I may as well have died and come back to life again. It was a major, major transformation. But I think it was the beauty of nature that finally made a turn. And I got to turn off my phone here. It's going off.
Wow, that is very
Sorry.
heavy. Illness and near death can do that to you.
I'd say so. I'd say so. And you can't underestimate when you're sick how different you can become, from yourself.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think it's interesting too, like how I've noticed that with changes or work, like we or me, and I see other people thinking that if you keep working at something, you're going to gradually improve. And I have found that many times improvements occur like actually like in instances, like a moment, like literally you probably were doing things and then you one day you woke up and it was better.
Yeah,
Like it tips. And I find that to be very interesting. Like you work, you work, you work, and then boom, you're better, like in an instant,
yes,
that's
yes,
been my experience. So,
yeah.
And
You don't know
body,
exactly where it happens.
yeah.
well, I think it's the culmination of all of the prayer and support as well as your own life force comes together, and it gets to the tipping point, where the cup spills over or the ball drops. It's like it builds and builds and builds, and then you get to a spot where the actual change occurs.
Yeah, it's
And it's
cumulative.
dramatic, but it actually is the result of many, many small things.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Those
But
cat of yours are beautiful. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it doesn't have to be a moment of, well, sometimes it is a moment of realization. And so the distraction of the world too pulls you away from really meditating on this thing that just happened. All the different things that people are distracted by are not necessarily conducive to even knowing what it is that just happened.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you, Julia?
I'm pondering this. I can't think of um I can't think of what my answer would be like right at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I know for me, it's interesting to me how literally like there's instances, and I've been very fortunate to not have had a lot of tragedy, you know. I probably think that actually, like one of the biggest woundings that I got was when my mother died,
Hmm.
Mm.
and how that was a huge kind of thing for our family because and I would say this is a theme that I've carried forward from there and still am working on, which is how deluded we are, or how deluded I am. Like the situation with Joanne's death was so not what was expected.
Oh, yeah.
It was so, so bad. It was like unimaginable how um everything that we thought as a family was going on and coming together and happening just wasn't.
Oh,
And
wow.
how it was an incredible betrayal of kind of everything that we knew or whatever. So it's I was thinking about that this morning because after Joanne died, who, like for me, it was a huge, huge, she was a huge, like, source of unconditional love in my life. But after Joanne died, I literally have no positive recollections of my mother. So it's been 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Now that's interesting.
I don't have it, whenever I think of my mother, it just hurts my heart. And the first time I thought of about anything in her in a positive way was when I was visiting Lancaster a year ago, Kate, and we were in that, South Market Cafe, and you mentioned what Joanne and Sheila would be thinking about the No Kings demonstration. And it was the very first time that I remembered my mother with some kind of gateway into whatever kind of vital force she had that influenced people. Because all think of when I think of my mother is like how much suffering there was there, and
Oh.
how much psychological and emotional violence was going on without anybody kind of being aware of it. And
Mm.
and I was just thinking about that this morning, about that, seeing Kate and that. So I would kind of maybe have to say that. And I think that one of the things that I took away from watching my parents' relationship was that I saw people who were unable to relate because they were afraid of being honest with each other. They really loved each other, but they let the communication failures build all of these barriers up between them, and it ruined their relationship. And
Mm.
I see that with Joanne. She carried that all the way to her death. Um, and just kind of how you can never really know people. And so
Yeah.
I have phases of this that come through, like just like 2 weeks ago, like my husband and I and a friend of ours have had this business relationship for like, I don't know, 20 years. And all of a sudden we were having this phone conversation and I realized all three of us like had a completely different idea about what was going on for like 15 years. Like, and I thought we were all in agreement. I thought we were like all on the same page. And so that's kind of like what I deal with is like, I think that there's agreement and then there isn't. And so to me that comes to me like needing to be less diluted, you know. Um, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is also freeing in a lot of ways, and it's been
Hmm.
very humbling too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes, maybe sometimes people are afraid of confrontation, so they don't bring up their insights into a situation as much as could be. Honesty is really lacking in so many cases.
I think a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid of being judged, they're afraid of being rejected, they're afraid of all kinds of things. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
they just don't. They just don't know how to bridge the gap. So they sit in that way.
Yeah.
Shame and guilt, shame and guilt.
And I believe also people are very, very self-centered. So, like the idea that laying the groundwork to really connect is outside a lot of people's, I don't even want to say most people, but I see a lot of people, you're moving through the world with your needs pushing against you, pushing you forward. And so it's hard to take in other people, you know,
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and really, really stop and look at them because your needs are pushing you through your life. So I don't know.
what about you,
So it's
Paula?
pretty vague. It's a pretty vague thing.
Well, I have two crises. Um, one in 1984, my mother died, but she killed herself in my house.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
And where it makes it even worse, I think, than a lot of other people, is that I was a mama's girl. I
Uh,
always wanted my mother.
yeah,
Mm.
Uh, that was because she was working all the time. My
yeah,
parents had a 24-hour bakery in Hackensack, and on the weekends, I spent it at her friend's house. But it was nice there because she had a son and whatever. So I didn't really see them that much, see her that much. But you know how I think it's the girls tend to be a daddy's girl, but I was a mama's girl.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh, I don't deal with all the hype and all the other stuff that happens around suicide stuff. I come from a suicide family, so she's not the first. She won't be the last. And but it was heartbreaking for me. She
yeah.
was like my idol. Okay, so that was the first thing. The second thing is ongoing. Okay, and that is I have a 47-year-old son
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
is not able to speak, can't do much for himself, has 24-hour care.
Mhm.
He has a
Wow.
great life. Has a great life. I see him every Saturday morning. My ex-husband and I, and his girlfriend, and my son David go to Muller's. I don't know if you know where that is, Kate, but uh, so we go every Saturday. And a lot of times when I'm sitting in the back seat with him, I like look at him And I go, oh my God, how have you managed to get through all these years without being able to speak? A few years ago, I tried it. I tried not talking for a half hour. I was like a lunatic. And I said, my God, I can't even do it for a half hour. So it impacts your life. But I have to be honest with you, I don't think about it all the time. It's like a given. Uh, the only other hope for him is that his mother, meaning me, uh, go to AI or stem cells therapy to try to get him to speak, which I do believe is possible.
Yeah.
It's just a question of fighting my ex-husband and other people. The stem cell stuff's in another country. Then the other thing is, how do you know? There's not that much out there. My attitude, although I haven't practiced it, is let my kid be a testing, so because he's smart. He's that smart that we don't know how smart he is.
Mhm.
He has Angelman syndrome. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. It's very rare. It's similar to autism, not the autism that you're reading about. Well, what
Yeah.
kids do. I'm talking real autism. And real autism or kids or I guess adults, I don't know what happens to them, where they don't make any eye contact. Mine does. But they do not speak. So if someone tells you that a kid is autistic and he's playing football and going to school and talking, forget it. There's no comparison.
Mhm.
So that's that. Because, it's like a given, like it's going to snow, it's going to rain, and I have a kid like that. And it's the way it goes. And he's much better at he used to be when it was a little behavior problem, big time. But silly us always thought it was a behavior problem, but it really wasn't. It was that he was trying to talk
Mhm.
and nobody was listening. We were getting beat up.
Oh.
So anyway, but out of all the kids that may be similar to him, he's gotten the best. Okay. Uh, where they used to give him once a week therapy,
Yeah.
Mama made it real clear he can't speak. Once a week isn't going to work. I want it every day and got it every day. He wound up, now that he's older, he actually has his own house.
Yeah.
He has 24-hour care. Uh, it's like he's living with you. That's the kind of life he has. And a lot of them don't have that. But it was all due to me because I wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I knew the law. I was lucky that somebody put me in touch with somebody who taught me how to do all this. So every time an issue came up, I knew the law.
Mhm.
They may not have known the law or misinterpreted it.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, there's a lot of money that goes towards him, and that the people, if they would know how much, would be very angry because their kid isn't getting whatever. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to know everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. And just because they say no, forget it. Let me talk to your boss. Let me talk to the owner of the place.
Exactly.
It's hard to. Or one of the things that I used a lot, you take them home. You live with them. And of course, nobody did that. So he was in residential school from the time he was 6 until he was 23. At 21, he wasn't allowed anymore. The law said that he couldn't stay.
Mm.
But good old mama fought it and got 3 more years.
Mhm.
Now he's in New Jersey with 24-hour care. He has a very nice life for a child like himself. Really, really good. No, I don't think anybody else has a life like him that's like him.
Yeah.
But it's a crisis, It affects everything. It affects the other kids. I remember one time my older son was walking in a hotel. There was some function going on, and David was walking the other way, coming towards each other. And my older son was shocked because David looked like him.
Uh-huh.
and maybe hadn't seen David for 10 or 15 years. You know, you can't, it's hard to communicate and stuff like that. So that's my crisis. Hopefully, there's no more.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you, Paula.
Well,
How about you, Sid?
Well, I don't know about recent crises. I think when Sam died, that was tough.
Mhm.
And so and then I have a friend who also has, not also, who has gone into dementia, and close friend. And her kids came and totally cleared out her house and put her in assisted living, and then took her to San Jose to live there. And she's bereft and upset and thinks she's going to get better and go home. And so that kind of hit me as a reality check of what I mean, because I went to her 80th birthday party, and then this took a couple more years, and for her to slip into dementia. Now, there's a few things that caused that. One was that she had a hearing problem, so she got a cochlear implant, and the cochlear implant, I think, pushed her over the top, and her brain not working very well. But I can attribute it to that, and other friends think maybe that was it too, but who knows? So that was a reality check for me, because I also just turned 80. And so I have resources available, and I pay attention to my resources. And the resource that I'm working with now is a class called Befriending Death.
Mm.
A friend of, I met the woman who does this from Unity, which is a church I go to, but we hesitate to call it a church exactly because there's no real dogma exactly. It's just progressive liberal people coming together to have what we could call a church. It's a worldwide thing. It's not just here.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you study in the class?
Well, the first class, okay, the next class, okay. One of the things we study is, let me see, I have to pull it up from my memory a little bit. It's not like I forgot. Um, about how people, what it's like to die, for instance, what it feels like to die, what we see when in others when they die, and the relief that they might have, or if they've been suffering, or and just how that it all works. And next week we're going to talk about dementia, and we're going to talk about when people lose their mind. We also talk about suicide. There was a fella in our church recently who did commit suicide,
Mm.
and the ways to do it. For instance, you can stop eating and stop drinking for several days, and your body will release its soul. And just talking about all those things, the realities of it, and what happens afterwards. The woman who leads the class is okay. So then, see, in Oregon, we have the right to die, and
Oh, that's
Right.
right.
That's right.
yeah, there's other states that have opened this up too. But right to die is your decision to stay alive, especially if you have a disease that has been diagnosed as fatal.
Right. Yeah.
So just delving into what is death, and how it affects us, and whether there's life after death, whether we have a soul
Mhm.
that we can still, and what is our experience, in fact, with others who have died, whether we've communicated with them and all, and how
Mhm.
and just everybody is sharing their experiences. And it is a Zoom class, it is online. And also, oh, the other part is getting all your ducks in a row, like your will, your trust account,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
ready for this well before you are on the brink of death, so that you
So it's
don't.
kind of like preparation for death, huh?
It is right. This is
Yeah.
our last. It's like we prepared for all kinds of things. Now this is the next thing. Clear.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right.
So
May as well admit the reality of it, huh?
right. And so facing the reality of it and what that means, and how to deal with the last days of your life, which is what these are. And just the reality of that, 80 is not, spring chicken. And yesterday I took a photo of myself to renew my passport. And when I took this picture, I thought it was pretty good. Oh, that looks nice. And so then they sent it to me today. I went, oh well. So that's another way I'm preparing for is renew my passport. And I feel as though we're all in a crisis right now. This is a crisis.
Yes, it is.
Crisis, what's happening every day.
Yes, it is.
I find, yeah.
Facing that and dealing with it. And last night, I'm preparing for my dear beloved John Gaynor to come back to Oregon for a weekend, basically, to do a concert at the U of O with the man who is now the leader of the gospel class at the University of Oregon. And I got on the phone with her because she was very much involved in his last visit here. And she started telling me all the reasons she hadn't responded to him. And I began to realize that the pharmacy hadn't sent my blood pressure medicine yet. I'm going to have to go over to that pharmacy and get it. Once she told me all the things she went through with the last visit, I got off the phone. I thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I deal very closely with the African American community here. And she's an African American woman who was the principal of a school here and a teacher, extremely talented woman. And so she just told me all the things that happened in the last visit and what she had to do to make it all work. And this time we have a team working, and one of them is the pastor of the African American church in West Eugene, and another one is the gospel choir leader now. And so delving into this is amazing. And then I'm writing a memoir too. And the question for the memoir was, what was your job like at Bromley Heath Community Center? So I started writing about that. And I thought, oh, shit, that was tough. So in Boston did end with one crisis after another. And my solution to that was to leave and go to the West Coast via Colorado, as you both remember. And so that was truly a crisis. My boyfriend moved out. My dog died. And the whole Bromley Heath Community Center where I worked was all Black people by then. All the white people had left because it was too dangerous for them. And then Black King got assassinated, and then Robert Kennedy got assassinated, and then everything just went hooey. And then Black Power emerged, and a lot of Black people didn't like white people anymore, and all the white people left, and it was just crisis after crisis in 1968. So writing memoir brings a lot of that back, plus just what's going on now too. And they have the Voting Rights Act dismantled.
Yes.
And just every day, but I have to, and my friend I was talking to had to stop watching. She said she was in the hospital just a couple weeks ago thinking she had another stroke. Well, it turned out she didn't, and they sent her home, and she's recovering from that crisis in her life. So, and we're working with the elders group and working with the Befriending Death group and all the different people's stories. There's a lot to take on, but at the same time, reality is this.
Yeah.
We need to face it and deal with it the best we can. So that's where, and I am trying to do that and facing what things happened in my life that caused me to be where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Nancy?
Yeah, yes, sorry for the interruption. I had to put myself on mute and take a call. This working really interferes with life, doesn't it?
Yes.
Really right.
Yeah.
It does. I was thinking because certainly there's lots of crises and traumas with death of family and friends and job losses and divorce and health crises, like everybody. But I think the thing that probably shaped me and that I carry to this day was when my dad died unexpectedly when I was in my early teens. And I was daddy's girl and the oldest of four children. My mom was 36 years old at the time. And I think back to that time and it's pretty blurry. It was a huge shock for my family. And I can remember consciously thinking, because I knew my mom was really suffering, that the best thing I can do to help my mom is to grow up real fast and get the hell out of here,
Mm,
which I desperately wanted to do.
yeah.
And so I think back on it now, and by the time I was 18, I had my own car I had saved for, and I was college bound. Got my first speeding ticket on the way to college because I was in such a hurry. Um, and in ways, it kind of launched this kind of stubborn independence that I have, and sometimes pathologically, of maybe knowing that I need to ask somebody for help, but not being able or willing to do it. It was just that streak. And just going full steam ahead at that time. So we're talking about in the early 70s. I wanted to go and advance my education and I wanted to go to medical school. And they said, you can't do that. You're a girl.
Yes.
And it was just that same defiance, of watch me, and actually doing it. And I miss my dad to this day.
Yeah.
um and I still have, he used to, he loved to tinker with cars and he could build things. He put an addition on our home. He was that kind of person. And I still have his craftsman tools and I use them. And he taught me how to use them. And I pick up those tools today and think about him and the gifts that he gave me.
Mm.
Um, he was a great dad, and I also marvel at my mom. I truly don't know how she did that with four kids at age 36 to raise them, without a husband. That was a different era,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and I think I took a lesson from that because before my dad died, you think I had the assumption that there were people in your life that were going to be there and you could always count on them.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And then he had the audacity to die.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Tom did, huh, Kate?
Yes, he
I
did.
thought I thought that's what you would pick.
Well, death is not that startling to me. I don't know why. But so soon we're having an ash disbursement celebration of not only Tom's ashes, which I've held on to for 6 years, but his sister recently died, and we're going to send those ashes down the Conestoga River to the Chesapeake Bay to the Susquehanna River and to the ocean, and then there they go.
Yeah, I'll get some of them.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the what?
We're
Yeah.
going to send him down your way, Jala.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right.
You'll have to go down there and wave as they continue their journey.
That's right.
Can you get down to the beach where you live, Jala?
Yes, I'm only about 2.5 blocks from the beach. I walk
Holy
over
cow.
there a lot, a lot. Yeah.
Good. We'll
The
give you a heads up.
Chesapeake Bay is so beautiful.
Yeah, we'll give you a heads up when we're sprinkling those ashes.
Yes, Nancy will be there with us.
Good. Oh, excellent.
The
Lord,
family, Tom's family is very evangelical and Trumpy, and they'll all be there. and they're questioning me, well, what kind of ceremony are you going to have? And, I guess they expect something that I think nature at the farm is the guiding light, the farm being where we will be doing the
Mm.
thing.
Mm.
And, you know, it's so beautiful down there.
Yes, it
You
is.
really don't need a bunch of blah, blah, blah. But, and I don't think we need to discuss religion or theology in any way, or Trump or politics or anything.
Yes, no politics.
No.
Well, you're going to give a little talk, right, Kate? You're going to give a
Yeah.
little.
So I will. And I like the idea of going to down the Conestoga to the Chesapeake to the to the Susquehanna I like that whole idea. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Um, the thing is that as far as Vicky, Tom's sister dying, it's a great shock to her 4 children. And so,
Mm.
you don't want to make light of anything because I don't want to insult anybody. But when you
Yeah.
think of Ashes doing that together,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
my only fear is that I'm going to fall as I try to get down to the river. I need Faisal to help me. We need to erect a ladder of some sort because I can't. I am not able to navigate like I used to be able to do all kinds of things, but I have fallen so many times and so far have survived these falls, but I don't want to fall anymore. So
right, right.
Kate, is there any kind of little pier or anything there anymore? Or
you remember
you just,
Tom built those steps, as you might remember. And but you're not immune from falling.
Well, can you have somebody be your surrogate for going down to
Yeah, that's what I was
the
thinking too.
stream, or send
Yeah.
one of the kids down with the ashes, or
Well, I
find
think
somebody who's more nimble?
well, yeah, on the other hand, they're also freaked out by death that taking the ashes down there might be a little bit rough.
Mm. Mm.
And I
Well,
don't even
pains like getting. I mean, I have walking sticks for
yeah,
play.
I love my canes too. And
Yeah,
and I have a walking stick that I think I don't know where it is. But
yeah.
anyway,
What I
yeah,
have is 2 walking sticks for. I mean, for yeah,
yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
Some people use them for size. Some people use them. But if I'm going to really hike somewhere, it really helps a lot to have those walking sticks to go up or down.
does
Yeah,
it help your balance, Sid?
What's that?
Does it help with balance?
I mean, it's not unusual to hike with walking sticks.
no, no.
And I got them at REI, a recreational equipment store.
I
Yeah.
got mine at Costco.
Yeah, so
Oh,
Amazon.
cool.
Are they real? Are they made of wood or there's some
Oh,
manufactured thing of metal or plastic or?
yeah, yeah,
They're
Yeah.
kind of like ski poles, you know.
well,
Okay.
right.
I
Your
So
might have
just
to
cats,
to,
try
your
that.
cats are very devoted to you, Paula.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the best. I got them
Yes,
on with
I
my other.
can tell they're very devoted to
Gorgeous.
you.
We are so close that I don't need a man, I'll tell you that. But I started to add taurine into their food. They also get very good food. Smalls.
Yes,
Small. It's expensive, but this cat is 10 years old. The other one is 8. And just recently, they're running around all the time. Now, I did start touring with them, and I think that is making a difference. Uh, but at night, the other one and I just sleep together. The other, let's put it
Ah,
this way. I have a stuffed, I showed you that thing
yeah, the
last week.
stuffed animal, right?
Yes, I have that, and I'm sleeping this way. Part of my chin is on the other cat, and then I
oh,
have my hand out, and his face is in my hand.
oh,
We've
Oh,
gotten closer. They're great. That's all I can tell you.
oh.
And when they say the love of your life, that's them.
Yeah,
Never
Yeah.
yeah.
gives me a problem. I know you're supposed to be consistent with them, but I'm not consistent with my friends. So whenever I wake up, they eat. So
Yeah.
I could wake up at 12, I could wake up at 4, okay? It's not unusual. So, and they don't, they don't bother me. They don't wake me up. They're just terrific cats. They could be, visiting cats for the sick. They could be. That's how good they are.
Yes. Yes.
Ellie sends her regards to everyone. She says she'll be back soon.
Oh, good.
Good.
Good. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Kate, like I just wanted to kind of, I know that for me, like navigating stuff, because I'm not the most stable either, is that, with the ashes, like to not carry them down with you when you go down the steps. Like have somebody, maybe you could come up with a sling or something, like you could get yourself down with both hands and both feet. And then once you're down there, someone could hand the ashes down to you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted, if you were thinking you had to carry the ashes down the steps, like,
Yeah.
because I know like we get stuck in, I have a client who, said finally he realized, oh, I can sit down when I put my pants on. Like he struggled to stand up and like put his legs in his pants. It's like we get used to these things that we could do, and then
Yeah,
like you just like want to keep going. So I just wanted to say that to separate going down the steps from carrying the ashes down the
that's
steps.
a good idea.
And we don't
Yeah.
If
need another death in the family right now.
Right, right. Or you don't want another cast on your wrist, or you don't want to break a
No.
hip, or
Right.
No, no,
you
no,
know.
no.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that just came to my head. So I wanted to say that before we say goodbye.
yeah.
That's a good
Like
idea.
think through like how do you get down the steps? Like I know like for me when I decided I really isolated myself for a number of years because of my weight. Like I didn't do things that I did before. And when I decided that I was going to go to the river again, where to get there I have to go down, like you have to like rock scramble down like a hill, I was like, okay, you know what? I don't care if I have to sit on my ass and scoot down
There you
or
go.
crawl out. I'm going to go to the river because I
Good.
want to go. And so then it's just like, yes, I can't scramble down that hill the way that the 20 and 30-year-old hippies do, but I'll get myself down there.
Yeah.
And, people, like I kind of gave up my pride or whatever. But
Mhm.
so that, like that, once I got rid of all of these notions about how I was going to do it, then I looked at how can I safely get down there and come back.
Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
think there are any steps there anymore.
I was,
That's the other thing. I have
well,
to go down and survey the territory.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe a
yeah.
little rehearsal, huh?
Well, and even, people you could have like a rope or something that you could hold on to, tie to a tree, run a rope down
Or
that
even,
you
yes, yes, one of my, Guthrie will be there and he can help me.
Yeah,
got it,
he's a big,
right.
strong guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you might want to rehearse it too, before.
or even Faisal would do that with the rope.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Hazel and Guthrie, and you'll have another few big strong guys, and I can hold on to any ashes that you want me to, and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
get some help.
Right,
Yeah,
get some help and plan it rather than kind of just,
right.
like it would be, I just wanted to put that out
No, no, I love your perspective and I appreciate any help I can
there.
get.
Maybe we
I-
should get some little floaties like they put on the kids when they go in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
We'll,
The
we'll
last
put
time the last time I swam in the river, which I don't want to do anymore because I got a terrible urinary tract infection.
I bet.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not it's not a clean body of water by any means.
You're not going to get down in the water, are you? You're just going to scatter the ashes,
Yeah,
right?
yes, I don't really have any desire to go into the water.
No,
Okay.
Not that body of water. I mean, maybe another body of water, not that one. Okay, so we can say goodbye now. And I found this to be absolutely interesting and fascinating, and thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Good
Bye.
luck.
Love you all.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.